So the quick overall experience of a roadmap for progression. After the main story, it's daily quests. Complete all your events in 7-day challenge. Hyperlink charter is next in priority. Grim pursuit, shell dungeons, and rarity upgrades. By far very important. Investigation until account level 35. Hell 3 Doki Doki, Nico Nana, then Doki, Hell 4, and Inferno. Then you can go into terrormaton or go into Aurora. Then the rest of the shell dungeons to improve your team comps. Then lastly, you can focus on PvP. I'm hoping that this video is a guide for you to answer all the questions you need. As a free-to-play player, beating every single threshold in Inferno and also every Grim Pursuit in Inferno. And this is with no Lily, no Yelly, no Shadow Sania, no LDSSRs. This is gonna be a guide literally from start to finish. New players and old players can come to this video to know where to go next. First, what's the 3 most important things you need to do to improve your account? The number 1 way to improve your account wherever you are in the game is shells. Shells are a super priority. Getting the right matrix and shell passives. The shell passes are by far the hugest progression for you. Getting a speed stat in a passive is huge. The farther you get in progression for PvE, the faster the enemies are. So you need to be faster too. Not only that, but just maxing out a shell. Base stats alone that you get. 40 speed, HP, attack, defense, compared to like an epic maxed out shell or even a maxed out unique shell. The second biggest thing are modules and mainly speed. Again, speed is king. I have a maxed out mythic shell on Fukuyu, but I want you to notice the speed difference. Not only the passive having no speed, but even these modules having no speed, 3, 6, and nothing. Substats on your modules are the second most important thing. If you're just leveling up anything and not being picky, you will run out of coin to level up your modules and you will get hard stuck. Obviously, it depends on the hero that you use. Sometimes speed isn't very important, but 9 times out of 10 it is. So substats are important and obviously main stats are important. And the third obvious important fact in progression is Lattice. Lattice can make or break a hero. For instance, Hell Kid, if you don't skill up his 3rd skill, it's a 5-turn cooldown. The shield isn't as strong. You can literally feel inside the game when you have a 5-turn cooldown compared to a 4-turn cooldown. This goes for Klaus's 3rd skill. Hell, this even goes for Gray. Maxing out his 2nd and 3rd skill literally changes the game for him. So we're going to talk about the roadmap of where and when to go into different dungeons, the priority in your daily farm, literally from start of the game to end game. This roadmap is from a daily perspective. If you've already completed anything I talk about, obviously skip that part. First and foremost, the main story chapters. These are level restricted locked. So you have to be a certain account level to do this. What you do is do the main story as far as you can, get those progression rewards because they unlock content for you as well. Second is your dailies. I did a video on dailies. I'll leave it at the end of this video, but really it only takes about 30 minutes to an hour. Next is your 7-day commission and your events. You need to make sure that this gets done. Getting the best free-to-play healer in the game, and on day 14 you're going to be getting a random SSR ticket. Events are limited time, so make sure to do those. Now for progression, always clear the highest stage of every single dungeon you can during progression. The first time rewards are huge and can be a huge upgrade, even if you want to farm something else. Start at times 10. After you start to time 10, go ahead and minimize. Try to beat a harder stage that you have not beat yet for the first time reward. If you've done all that so far, go into your Hyperlink charter. This is a huge progression boost early game. Do everything you can and move on to the next one. There's so many different progression things to get between Lattice, summons, shadow print, crystals, etc. And there could be easy things like recycle 10 shells. Well, okay, I can do that in a second. And done. Now for mid-game progression. Biggest upgrades you can do mid-game Like, how do I beat Hell 3? How do I beat Hell 4? I can't beat Inferno Nico Nana. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, it's always your shells. I talked about it before, the shell difference between rarities are huge. Let's say you have a bunch of unique shells maxed out already, but you can finally farm Phoebian. This is the next step in the roadmap to progression. It's time to upgrade your shells. Once you've upgraded your shells and your shell passives for those rarities, then you want to try to improve in modules. But if you're lower than account level 35, you need to be farming the highest level of investigation that you can. It's not worth the farm thresholds until level 35. Count level 35 is when you open up hell modes and thresholds. This has the highest main stat that you can. Your next goal is to get to hell 3 to get those triple matrix modules. But before you can do that, you probably need to farm hell 1 for a bit. At that point, you probably have some yellow epic shells, and the easiest dungeon for you to clear in your next step on the roadmap is Nico Nana. This will be the first time that mythic shells start to drop. You can invest more into these mythic shells because you can imprint them into other shells later. Again, until you're level 35, you want to farm investigation. But as you see here, investigation higher levels start unlocking after you clear the main quest. Again, going back to the whole main story chapters. But like I said, once you unlock Nico Nana, this is the easiest dungeon that you can do. It's okay to invest in these mythic shells that only have 2 triple matrix, because when you do unlock Inferno and are farming shell dungeons non-stop, you will have plenty of 3 set triple matrix shells. You can then imprint those old shells into your new shells. No harm, no foul. This is part of the end game here, is shell passives. You want to reconfigure till you get the right one, or you get small upgrades like this. You take those wins and keep on pushing. And again, another upgrade. Wow, 2 in a row, that's special. 1% every time, but we keep going until you've clicked the wrong button, or you just find something better because you clicked the wrong button. After Inferno Nico Nana, then you want to go and try your best luck into Inferno thresholds. I would highly start with Doki Doki, speed is king. But if you can't beat Inferno Doki Doki, it's probably because of your speed substats. So just farm Hell 4 or even Hell 3 until you get the right substats. You may even need to level up like 3 substat attributes at some point, just to see where your next roll is gonna be. If it's not speed, move on to the next one. Go into +3 and then +6 if you have to. Hit the recycle button on these because these are trash. Click on the only show discarded modules. These are all the modules that you clicked recycle on that don't make sense, and it's just a quick, easy return of coin. But you won't know until you actually try. And you land on speed and then you go to +9, and maybe this doesn't make sense, so you go on to the next one. Effect accuracy fury, that doesn't make sense, but hey, it landed on speed right off the bat. You could use this as a broken set if it lands on speed every single time, and then you keep going on and hopefully it doesn't. But you may want to just level up 3 more just to see. Bam! 12 speed effect accuracy. I don't care what set it is, I'll use it on a broken set, especially if I land on speed again, but it doesn't. You can use this to now replace it on a broken set kind of setup for 9 extra speed. If you can farm Doki Doki, then try your luck in terrormaton. However, Swift Smite is a very good module for PvE as well. I personally went Doki Doki and then Aurora. Inferno terrormaton was actually the last dungeon that I cleared in Inferno, but that's because I focused heavily on wind and water units. But it also depends on your account. If you have Shadow Sania and a dot team, you can clear a lot of dungeons very easily. And that's it for today's video. Right now, my real only goals are to farm shell dungeons, improve my shell passives, like always, farm modules, and PvP. PvP is what I love the best. That's what I like to play these type of games for. The grind is here, the roadmap roadmap is now here for you if you have questions. And I also like to use heroes that really aren't used a lot. Jason Bourne, for example, gotta love him. F tier on all these tier lists, right? But I think there's a spot for every single hero in this game. If you end up liking this video, make sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell so you know when I post a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.